Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I have learned as I have grown into the person that I am today. And my husband is inside catching up on television that he hasn't got to watch for the whole week, so I thought, well, this is a perfect opportunity for me to sit out on the front porch with my Christmas decorations and do some meditations tonight. It's cool, chilly. It's a little chilly outside, but it's not like freezing cold. It's in like the upper 30s, lower 40s tonight, and it's actually a very beautiful evening. It's so interesting though. It's like 5:55 right now, and it's almost completely pitch black outside, and it's hard as far as planning for my day because I am such a night person. But by the time what just happened? But by the time that the night I have this lantern right here, and I think something just kind of like moved over. Little light of mine. But by the time that night usually rolls around, I have like all the things that I wanted to get done during the day. And now, because you know night comes so soon, with winter and daylight savings time and all that kind of stuff, it's like not even 6 o'clock yet, and I'm usually like not finished with my stuff until about 8 o'clock, and now it's like I look outside and it feels like it's 9 or 10 o'clock at night, you know. So anyway, I wanted to sit down and I wanted to read some meditations. I brought all of these meditation books with me today, and I actually, oh, I know what fell. The last book that I had, here it is. I wanted to read from the Amy Dean book today, Nightlight, because this will be going up at night, and I'm talking about night, and so I thought it'd be fun to read from this one today. So let's see what the Amy Dean book has to say to us today. It is December 3rd. Let's get in this and see. December 3rd. So this is the Nightlight, a book of nighttime meditations, and I love this book, especially to like read right before you go to bed and things. It kind of gives you some things to think about in processing the day that you've just had, and I just think it's such a fantastic book. Oh no, today's December 4th. It's the 4th. Okay. December 4th. They got scared when they started feeling good, just because it was so unfamiliar. Like chronic prisoners facing release from their cells. Lisa Alther. The evening news usually begins with doom and gloom stories, and perhaps ends with one positive, uplifting item. If we were to give the evening news of today, what would it consist of? Stories of disappointment, anger, resentment, and misunderstandings? Or recollections of giving, laughter, closeness, success, and achievement? It's scary to focus only on the good things that happen. Many times we're afraid to feel good because we don't trust a feeling to last long. Perhaps we're very uncomfortable with good feelings because they're so unfamiliar. So true. Yet that unfamiliarity can change over time until we grow accustomed to the good. Accepting good feelings is like meeting someone we really want to know better. At first we may feel scared or shy, but in time we feel more at ease and relaxed as we spend more time together and share different things. Feeling good can be a friend that will grow more important to us every day. Tonight I will focus on the good in my evening news. Oh wow, what a powerful meditation, you know, because I think for many of us, when we're looking back on the day that we've just had, I mean, I think it's just a question to pose. How many times when you're looking back on the day that you've just had, do you sit there and say, oh, I had the best cup of coffee ever today, or, you know, I'm so happy that I got to have lunch with my friend, or I had this fantastic phone call with my friend today. Like my friend Tanya and I just got off the phone and we were just laughing and all kinds of stuff, you know, and or, you know, I had this wonderful dinner with my partner tonight, or I read a really good book, or I watched a really good movie. Or how many of us look back at the day and we think, oh, this stressed me out, or I didn't get this done, and I wish I had had time to do that, and whatever, and we look at all of the negatives, right, instead of the positives throughout the day, and I think it's so important to look at the positives throughout the day. And, stuff is just like falling all over. That was my pillow back here that just fell. My Christmas pillow that I had set up. I was just thinking, like, before, I was like, everything's falling. Should I just, like, start this video over? And I was like, you know what? Just go with it. That's how life is sometimes. Pillows fall and books fall and you just go with it, right? So anyway, but I think that it is so important because, you know, for so much of my life, I looked at the glass as half empty instead of half full. And I think that it was really just, I lost a lot of time. I lost a lot of days, you know, that were fantastic days. And this is probably I always look back at the lessons that I've learned in the last year, and maybe I'll do a video of like the best lessons I've learned this year, the most profound lessons I've learned, because I've learned quite a few this year. But I definitely think that one of the lessons that I've really learned is being happy about those days where you're just content. And, I've talked about it a lot on my vlog, and I've talked a lot about it over here. And I'm kind of laughing because somebody commented on my vlog one day, and they said, "We get it, Peter, you're happy with being content." But it's true, it's like, I think for so long, I either commiserated over those days that were like ones and twos, that were horrible, tragic days, or, and I clung to like those threes and fours, which I'm on a scale of 1 to 10, those threes and fours that were like, it wasn't like a tragedy happened, but I just wasn't that happy that day, and I had a lot to worry about, or I allowed myself to worry about a lot of things. But then there also aren't that many 8, 9, 10 days, right? So it's like, I wasn't willing to just take a look that there were a lot of 5, 6, 7 days that were pretty good days, like what I just said, where I had a good dinner, or I got to have a good conversation, or a good cup of coffee, and listen to a good audiobook, or whatever, and that, looking at your day and saying, today was a really pretty good day, like I'm very content with how today went, I think is important, instead of just saying, oh, today was the greatest day in the entire world. The other thing, or the worst day in the entire world, I think, it's always, when we look at things in extremes like that, we're missing out on a lot that's in the middle. I think the other thing is, if you did the Rhonda Byrne book, Magic, that we did a year ago around November, it was like 28 days of gratitude, one of my friends I still give a hard time to, she watches this channel, so hey, how are you? And she always jokes she always laughs because she started the book but didn't finish it. So anyway, but that book was so phenomenal, right? And one of the things that we did in the book Magic, and you can read it at any time, you don't have to just read it then, but is that you pick a magic rock, and then you keep it beside your bed, and then at night, like my mother-in-law still does this, and I still have my magic rock next to my bed. And I don't do it every night. I should. I wish I did, but I don't. But I wish I did, so which means I should, and I'm going to, or I'm gonna start doing that. But you take the magic rock and you hold on to it, and what you do is, you go through your day and you think to yourself, like, what were the high moments of the day? Like, what were the best moments of the day? And when you do that, then you pick the best moment of the day. And what that forces your mind to do is it forces your mind to really think more about the positive moments as you're ending your day, like doing more of an inventory of the best moments of the day, so that you're ending the day on a positive note, And the reality is this, is that we're all of us gonna have enough sad, tragic days in our lives that let's like save the complaining, commiserating, negativity, and just seeing the glass as half empty for those days, right? I mean, we are truly gonna have enough days out there that are so hard and detrimental to get through that, and just really tough days, that we should focus the days that are in between on just being happy about those days and being, thankful for the days that are in between, because we only have so many days on this earth, and if we can't do that, like the period of my life where I was just very negative every day that I got up, I think that should be a wake-up call for us, that, what are you doing with each day? Like, each day that you get up is an opportunity for us to make the most of that day. And if we're not doing that, then the question should be, well, what do we need to do to change our focus so that we are really taking advantage of each and every day to be a positive contribution to the world, or to make somebody laugh, or to make ourselves laugh, or did we really enjoy today fully? I mean, the two questions I ask myself on a pretty regular basis is, did I have good times today? Number one. Did I enjoy times with other people or by myself? Number two. And number three, did I contribute to the world in some positive way today? I mean, those are things, of asking myself of, was I of service today, and things like that. Those are things that I ask myself on a daily basis, because those three things pretty typically, for me, make up a better day than the days that aren't good. They make pretty good days. So, good meditation. All right, let's read one more, and I'm going to read from the Meditations for Living in Balance, unless it's just something that is so. One of the things I like about this book is that it has an index at the back that you can just like look up any topic, like tenderness, teachers, sleep, satisfaction, self, problems. So you can look underneath here if you're really struggling with something, and you can like find the meditation that aligns with that. Okay, December 4th. Okay, this is a really religious one today, so I'm not going to read from that one. Let's let's read. How many of these books am I going to have to go through until I find this meditation video is all over the place, and I'm kind of loving it. Okay. Okay, that one's kind of how many of these am I going to have to... Let's go to the Melody Beatty, my favorite. Let's see. She never lets us down, does she? Okay. Let's see. This one has index in it, too. December... Because, like, back in the day, my mom... Because she was struggling with something like resentment. She would go into her meditation books and look at that. Okay. December 4th, letting go. How much do we need to let go of? A friend asked one day. I'm not certain, I replied, but maybe everything. Letting go is a spiritual, emotional, mental, and physical process. A sometimes mysterious, metaphysical process of releasing to God and the universe that which we are clinging to so tightly. We let go of our grasp on people, outcomes, ideas, feelings, wants, needs, desires. Everything. We let go of trying to control our progress and recovery. Yes, it's important to acknowledge and accept what we want and what we want to happen, but it's equally important to follow through by letting go. Letting go is the action part of faith. It is a behavior that gives God and the universe permission to send us what we're meant to have. Letting go means we acknowledge that hanging on so tightly isn't helpful to solve the problem, change the person, or get the outcome we desire. It isn't helping us. In fact, we learn that hanging on often blocks us from getting what we want and need. Who are we to say that things aren't happening exactly as they need to happen? There is magic in letting go. Sometimes we get what we want sooner after we let go. Sometimes it takes longer. Sometimes the specific outcome we desire doesn't happen. Something better does. Letting go sets us free and connects us to our source. Letting go creates the optimum environment for the best possible outcomes and solutions. Today I will relax. I will let go of that which is upsetting me the most. I will trust that by letting go, I've started the wheels in motion for things to work out in the best possible way. Interesting meditation, and I really, really like it. And, you know, it reminds me of a friendship that I had, got years ago, probably 15 years ago. And I was really, really struggling with this friendship. And in all honesty, like, I had a lot of expectations for how I felt the friendship should go and what I thought that person should be doing. And, you know, I felt like I was a really good friend and I was doing everything that I needed to do and everything in that friendship, right? And I can remember talking to my sponsor about it. We talked a lot about letting go of expectations and just letting go of situations and basically letting go and letting God and realizing that I can't control every outcome, which is, you know, control is such a big deal for addicts and alcoholics that it was something that I really had to learn through the years. But I can remember driving around with Tanya, my best friend, and we had this conversation on several occasions, you know, where, you know, she would say, you just have to let go of your expectations. And this person was also an active alcoholic. And so I really struggled with that because, you know, I felt for them in their own active addiction, but at the same time, it was affecting our friendship. And so I wasn't just going to, like, distance that person or not be part of their life anymore, but I didn't know what to do, right? And so we would drive around it, and, you know, Tanya would say to me, like, they're sick, like, they're in their own active addiction. And I would say, well, I don't know what to do. And she'd say, you have to lower your expectations. And I literally, to this day, can remember us driving around in the car, and I said, I was like bawling and I was like really upset. I mean, this was a friendship that I had had for quite some time. And I said, I don't know what to do, Tanya, anymore. Like, I don't know what to do. And I said, I don't know how low I have to go on letting go of my expectations. And I remember she put her hand over on my leg and she said, until you don't have any anymore. And you know what was so interesting about that was that I got to the point where I literally had no expectations for this person anymore. I had no expectations for how they lived their life or how they treated me or what that was in there, you know? And I just kind of let go of all of it and just realized that wherever it was going to take it, was going to take it. My ability to let go of my expectations, you know, because I've had rather high expectations for people in life. And, you know, resentments, the definition that I was given of resentments is that resentments are unfulfilled expectations. That when I think that somebody should have acted a certain way or a situation should have turned out a certain way, and I'm not unhappy with that, or I'm not happy with that, that's a resentment, right? And so for me to have expectations for people is ultimately going to lead to a resentment because people are human and they're not going to ever act the way that I'm not going to. I'm sure people have had high expectations for me and I've let them down. I'm human, right? And so I have to see people the same way. And, you know, I did. Over time, I was able to have no expectations for this person and let it go. And what was interesting was that person slowly started to change. Because of me, I don't think so. I just think in time, things started changing, you know, and then they would say, do you want to do dinner? And we would do dinner. And it was like, and what was so hard at that time was that by the time that the dinner invitations came around or the phone calls, like I really, to be honest with you, I had no emotional attachment to this person anymore. I had no feelings towards this person anymore because I had lowered my expectations for them. I just didn't really care at all. And what was sad about that was that I was worried that that relationship would be gone forever. But what happened was, and they're changing over time, when I went into that relationship again, when we started renewing that friendship, I was able to go into it with no expectations, you know? And today we have a fantastic friendship. And I am able to look at that friendship with no expectations. And they don't let me down and I don't let them down. And it's just like we're human beings and we're able to do that. And that one lesson has taught me in life to really lower my expectations for people, you know, that, you know, I think we start that with our parents when we're growing up, that we think our parents, most of us, I think that our parents are like these idols that can do no wrong. And then we realize, and they do very human things that are either hurtful to us or hurtful to others or just human things in general. And we realize that they're not, you know, or grandparents, you know, that they're not these beings of perfection that we thought they were. And then we grow up and we see that in other ways as well, when really what it is we're just a bunch of human beings trying to do the best we can to get by on a daily basis, you know? And so expectations are truly going to lead to failure. So the idea of letting go is probably one of the greatest lessons I've ever learned in my life. And it's a really difficult lesson. Like, it doesn't happen for me overnight. Like, I have to work on that. I have to work on letting go and letting go of my expectations and realizing that it's not fair for me to hold people to these pristine standards, you know? Do I think that it's fair for me to hold people to some kind of expectation? Absolutely. I think it's fair for us to have expectations for our friends and family members in our life, to treat us a certain way. I do think it's fair for us to have certain expectations, right? Do I think that we're going to get let down on those expectations? Probably. A lot, you know. Do I think it's, you know, fair to say that people need to take accountability for their actions and say that they want to grow as human beings? Yeah, I do. Have I met 80-year-olds that still haven't done that? Sure, 100%, you know. And that's okay, you know. I got to be focused on my journey and who I am and where I'm at, and I got to focus on lowering my expectations for others, because I'm going to be let down if I don't, you know. Like I said, that leads to resentments. And, you know, resentments and recovery are the #1 offender. I'm going to end up getting hurt, and I'm going to be the one that ends up suffering as a result of that. So I think those were great meditations today. Anyway, let me know what you think. Put it in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.